Greetings to the students in the Biblical Hermeneutics class here at Southeastern University. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you at the very beginning of our class. You know, the class begins officially today, and so we're going to start down this road together. My commitment to you is to communicate with you regularly, certainly weekly, if not more often. Weekly, I will send you a video announcement that kind of summarizes everything that we're doing in general, bringing us up to date, as well as reminds us of what is coming up that particular week. This is a great course. It's one of my favorite courses. Every level of education that I experienced had a hermeneutics course in it, and I always considered it to be the most significant, most important course that I had in my education. So I'm so excited about being able to share this experience with you. Here's a brief, of course, the course description. This is a course designed to familiarize the student with the science and interpretation as related to the biblical text. That's the meaning, of course, of the word hermeneutics. Emphasis is placed on the principles of exegesis, particularly the interpretation of Scripture in the light of its historical, grammatical, and theological content. So this course requires careful study of and reflection upon the appropriate biblical texts. I know you're excited to realize that our focus ultimately will be on the epistle to the Ephesians from Paul. And so there's no question that whenever you are working in a program in biblical studies, ultimately you will need to be able to do what we call formal exegesis. And that's what you're going to learn how to do. This class will put all of the tools in the toolbox that you need to go forward in that way. A couple of very great textbooks, of course. Michael Gorman has a classic textbook, Elements of Biblical Exegesis. This is one of those books that you'll want to keep handy in your library and be able to go back and refer to it occasionally, maybe even teach from it. The Blue Parakeet from Scott McKnight is a great book. It's kind of fun, very creative, but I think you're going to enjoy the insights that are given to you in this book as you read this semester. In terms of the course assignments, course-wide, the next 8 weeks, these are the assignments that you will have. First of all, you will have discussion forums in modules 1 through 7. So it's only module 8 that will miss a discussion forum. You will, our typical strategy is to ask you to post your initial post by the end of the day on Saturday, so there's time to interact with one another. It is a real discussion. And so the assignment as a whole will not conclude until the end of the day on Tuesday. And I think you're going to enjoy that immensely. There are very short quizzes over assigned reading in each module. They're open book, open notes quizzes. And so I think of them not so much as tests, as exams, as review opportunities. And it ultimately will be worth 15% of your final goal, your final grade, rather. Discussions, 22% of your final grade. Then we have some specific tool-making kinds of exercises. There is the Religion Library exercise in Module 3, where you will be able to begin to explore sources that are going to be helpful to you in your study, in your writing. You will look at the whole idea of properly listing your citations, etc. Just one of those skills assignments, and it'll be worth 5% of your final grade. Then there will be a series of rough drafts. This will give me the opportunity to provide you with feedback along the way. Rather than wait until the big assignment at the end, we will have little assignments that are all going to add up together to be the big assignment. And take it kind of step by step, and I think you will appreciate the ability to do that. So in modules 2 to 7, we will have mini pieces of your exegetical paper, and they together will be worth 18% of your final grade. And then, of course, finally, at the end of the class, you will have the exegetical paper due as a one standalone document, just a great work that you will be doing in Module 8, 20% of your final grade, and a final exam, which is kind of a combination of all of the little quizzes that you have been taking. Once again, open book, open notes. over the material in the class as a whole, and it will also be worth 20% of your final grade. So welcome to week 1 here in our fall semester. I'm very excited about sharing this experience with you. Let's jump in and get started. First of all, as you know, to get started in the course, there are some introductory elements that you want to give attention to. There are the course syllabus and policies, an immensely important document that you will want to keep. Our very first discussion assignment is the Meet the Class discussion forum. What a great opportunity to jump in and introduce yourself and interact with other students in the class. I so much enjoy meeting you and will always participate in the Meet the Class forum. There's a great video called Course Introduction, just less than 5 minutes, but a very, very helpful introduction to the course. A list of relevant resources. And of course, there's the Student Acknowledgement and Attendance Confirmation Survey. Basically, it's just a kind of a quick questionnaire that demonstrates that you're present in the class, that you have jumped in, you're participating, you know what's going on, you've taken a look around. In fact, you have to complete this little brief questionnaire in order to open up the week 1 as a whole for you. Because, you know, our students receive, in some cases, Title IV funds, it's necessary for online students to demonstrate participation in an online course, and this is the best way to do that. So be sure to get it done ASAP. The theme of Module 1 is hermeneutics and why do we need it? So it's kind of an introduction to everything that we're going to be doing together in this class. The aim, first of all, is explained in really a great written introduction to Module 1. You want to give attention to all of that content. In fact, if it were me, I think I would copy and paste these introductions in some kind of a document because it really is a very, very good, very helpful introduction to the first module. And then there are several important learning objectives for us this week. For instance, number 1, to identify basic terms in hermeneutics. All of these have a vocabulary, as you know. To determine why you should study hermeneutics, to recognize the risks associated with the development of interpretive skills. So it's not magic, you know, it's kind of an art and a science. It's one that depends on, I think, to a degree, your view of Scripture. And then, of course, to identify what readers bring to the biblical text. So you have a background. You know, if you grew up in the church, if you grew up attending Sunday school or Bible study of some kind, you maybe already have background in the book of Ephesians, and so you bring certain elements to bear in your study of the text. To discuss your personal view of the Bible, very, very important. I think one of the most important decisions we make early on is to decide what you believe about the Bible. And then that kind of sets you up to be able to do an excellent job reading and studying, etc. And then to choose a passage. So this week you will choose the passage from Ephesians that you want to dig into in the rest of the course. A list of passages are given. You will choose one, and then you will kind of post it in a discussion forum as a way of reporting that you have in fact chosen a passage. And you know, it's also an opportunity to be able to interact with each other on your chosen passage. I'm excited about working together on the book of Ephesians. There are some important resources available to us in Module 1 in week 1. First of all, there is a video. You'll see a lot of videos from the Bible Project, which actually is a ministry here in Portland, Oregon, where I am. This one is called How to Read the Story of the Bible. Then you get to start into your textbooks this week. Read chapters 1 and 2 in the blue parakeet, chapters 1 and 2 in Elements of Biblical Exegesis. There is a review, kind of a list that I think will be important for you called What Do We Bring to the Text? And then 2 very, very important videos. One called Can We Trust Bible Translations? And another called Social Location and Biblical Interpretation. It's all about context in the end. You'll want to give special attention to those videos because you will have work that is connected to them. In terms of your graded assignments this week, of course, you will have a discussion forum Take some time, first of all, to look at the supporting documents, the discussion forum instructions document and the rubric for grading, for participating and grading in the discussion forums. And then here's your prompt for the first discussion forum. By engaging with the 2 videos from this week that I just mentioned, how do you view the Bible? How does thinking about the Bible as a library of writings written over 1,000 years by different people in different languages and different cultural contexts change, challenge, or help how you view a Bible? Kind of 150 words. This is, again, all about the background context of a passage. And then reflect upon your family history, your culture, your personal experience of church life. And from this reflection, provide a brief statement as to how your perception of what you bring to the study and teaching of the biblical text. So what do you bring to bear when it comes to reading and studying and interpreting and applying what you're learning in the biblical text? And how do you perceive this background helping or hindering your ability to understand the text you have selected? Ideally, it would be great if we could start reading just never having read it before, done a little bit of work in the background, but we really don't have, big opinions as to what it means, and dive in and begin to dig and so forth. But all of us do have a background. So I think it's okay to think about that and wonder, is it going to be helpful? Is it going to be maybe a hindrance? What position should I take when it comes to reading the text for myself? Again, the initial post is due by the end of the day, Saturday. It's not a late grade kind of a thing. It's just we want you to have a real conversation. And so if you will put in your initial post by the end of the day on Saturday, and of course all assignments, the end of our class week is the end of the day on Tuesday. It's my pattern to jump in and kind of select here and there and participate in our discussions, and I certainly enjoy doing that. You also this week get to choose the passage from Ephesians that you want to dig into for the rest of the class. So what you need to do is read the book of Ephesians. If at all possible, read it in one setting. And then choose a passage from the list that is given to you. And you will post your selected passage into the assigned discussion form. It's not a discussion per se. It's just a way of saying that you have in fact chosen, and will receive a grade for it. And so think together, think prayerfully, if I can suggest, about the passage that you feel maybe the Lord wants you to dig into in this class, because it could be a life-changing experience for you. And of course, there will be a little quiz over the assigned readings for the week, open book, open notes, a 30-minute limit to the quiz. Very easy. So it's kind of a review opportunity you can have if you want some notes out in front of you. It's not that kind of an exam. It's just a review opportunity for you. I love the whole area of scripture interpretation, the skills that are going to be beneficial to you. You will value this class all the rest of your life and ministry, particularly if you end up engaged in ministries of teaching and preaching. How valuable will this be? And be able to share with others, even along the way, some new believers as to how to jump in and begin to read and study the Bible. So it's going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to this class. I'm looking forward to the week. And I just pray that God will lead you and teach you by His Spirit as you work together. So God bless you, everybody. Just have a great week 1.